Welcome to the Wild Grace podcast, where authenticity isn't a choice, it is your calling. Real, raw, untamed. This is your initiation into the wild. Hello and welcome to the Wild Grace podcast. I am your host, Malika Ford, and today we are talking about money. This topic for me is just something that I am constantly thinking about, especially when it comes to relationships and gender roles with the current climate that we are in at the very peak of feminism. I wonder what the right way is. And I know there's no right way. What I'm looking for is the right way for me. To give a little bit of background, I have dabbled in the sugar dating life for the last 10 years because I believed that I really, really wanted to be looked after by the masculine. That idea of being completely provided for financially really felt good for me. And then what happened? After sugar dating for a little while, I did find someone that was pretty awesome. I used to call him the diamond in the rough because he wasn't like the other sugar daddies that I had dated before. He was pretty normal. I was with him for 3 years. We moved in together, and one thing that I learned is that it's very difficult to distinguish if you are in love with the sugar daddy for them or if you're in love with them for what they can provide for you. Over the 3 years of our relationship, it was something that I often questioned, and I know he did as well. We started off as a sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship, fell in love, at least we thought we were in love. It could have been lust, it could have been anything, but we were definitely drawn to each other almost obsessively for a long time. When we did have those deep feelings for each other, we attempted to change the dynamic from sugar baby to sugar daddy to just a conventional relationship where the man was the main provider of all of the finances. But it didn't really work. I remember sitting in the mirror one day, just feeling so unsatisfied in my heart, realizing that this life that I had been building over the last 3 years with this man was no longer satisfying me. I just wondered if it was because that I had not made the money myself and that the house and the car and my allowance, my bank account didn't even have my name on it. So nothing was truly mine, and I was heavily reliant on this man to live the life that I was living. It was an exuberant lifestyle, and I will be forever grateful. It was just such a hard reality check to realize that externally I had almost everything. I had the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I wanted, to buy pretty much whatever I wanted, and yet inside felt so empty and unfulfilled. We went to relationship counseling, we did courses, we did tantra courses because we were missing something. We both felt it. And so while this beautiful man could hold me financially and externally, one thing that he could definitely not hold me in was any form of strong feminine emotion. Because he was so wealthy, he used his wealth to smear over the fact that he couldn't hold me emotionally. He would use his wealth as a way to not have to deal with my emotions or comfort me in those states of rage, sadness, or grief. It's almost like he didn't even know how to. I realized that while he was so wealthy and he had it all on the outside, even he wasn't able to hold himself on the inside. And so it was this wicked trade-off. It was a wicked trade-off because while I was so supported externally, internally, I felt so unsupported. And in the end, it was the demise of our relationship because we were open at the time and I met someone who had nothing to offer but emotional support, understanding, empathy, and compassion. And it was the one thing in the sugar relationship that we just couldn't get right, either of us. They say the man is the one that holds the container of the relationship, the foundation, the structure, and the woman's essence kind of fills whatever structure or container that the man is holding. So often I've noticed with me, depending on where the man is in their maturity, I will match that, which is not a great thing. No, when the maturity hasn't developed yet, emotional maturity is not there. It was funny because in my previous relationship, I have got to say I was acting like a spoiled little teenager a lot of the time. And I didn't know why. I was like, why am I able to hold myself in every other relationship that I've ever had? And with you, I'm like 17 again, unable to control my emotions. And then I heard that it's actually the man that is responsible for holding this emotional container, and then the woman feels it. So I started dating this other guy, and he had nothing to offer, but incredible self-awareness and an incredible sense of emotional intelligence. And I just felt so seen. I felt so heard. I felt so understood. Almost for what it felt like for the first time in my entire life, I was met with this extreme contrast, as you might imagine. I had this man who was offering me everything externally, and then another man who was offering me everything internally. And I just thought I had hit the fucking jackpot. I was like, okay, I'm in an open relationship. I'm in love with both of these men. Life could not get any better. But then my primary partner requested monogamy because he could feel that the connection that I had with this other man was the threat to our relationship, emotional depth and safety, the one thing that he could not offer me. I think it drove him crazy. It also shone light on the truth of our relationship, that it was superficial. It was painful for both of us. So money. My question is, right, what's more important? What is more important? Is financial exterior wealth more important than emotional wealth? And I'm still wanting to find a balance with this, because I wonder if I'm the type of woman that needs to make her own riches and wealth to ever feel satisfied. Because while I like the idea of being taken care of, when I am taken care of and I don't have full control over my finances, there's this sense of an irrational fear that it could be taken away at any moment. That irrational fear is not so irrational because it has happened just recently, where my whole life was stripped bare from me, and because I had signed a prenup, nothing was mine. It made me think, am I one of those women that have to do it all to be happy, to be satisfied? Is there a way that I would be able to be held by the masculine financially and be satisfied? And is it a payoff? Are all these really rich, wealthy men that can actually support you to the level of success that I would desire? Is there a trade-off with their emotional intelligence? Are they emotionally wealthy? Are they wealthy on the inside as well as the outside? Or have they got wealthy because of their wounding on the inside? I'm not enough, I am not worthy, and that drives their success. I'm at a stage where I am making a bit of money. My business is doing pretty well, and I am feeling a lot of independence. I feel like I have control over my life. And then I have this beautiful lover who has the emotional depth and the self-awareness of a monk or a saint or a god in some ways. Yet he has mastered the craft of exterior wealth yet. So I'm just walking this weird, surreal existence of extreme realities, wondering what is it what is it that is actually important to me? And if I was a billionaire tomorrow, would it matter if my partner was making any money or not? If money was seriously out of the picture, would it matter if your partner was making money? Would we look at people differently? I've been seeing on social media recently influencers and models saying, if you're a man out there and you don't have money, I don't want anything to do with you. I love this song at the moment by Tanisha called No Broke Boys. And I love it. I really love it. It's about being a badass bitch and not dating broke boys. And if they don't pay for your dinner, you're definitely not going to fuck them. I see on Instagram time and time again. I saw this reel of this chick who's talking to a boy, and the boy asks to split the dinner bill. And she says, "Oh, that's such a shame. You just want to be friends? I thought it was going so well." So this mentality that is out there with strong independent women at the moment is that men have to provide. If you want a good-looking woman, you need to provide financially. I just feel there's a fuck ton of pressure on men out there at the moment. I am empathizing with the men because you have to be everything right now. Women are strong, we're powerful, we're saying we don't even need men anymore, and yet we're putting all of this pressure of, if you want to be with me, then you have got to fucking pay for my life. In a way, I can see the draw to that. I can see the desire. It's like, if I'm a queen, if you can't treat me like a queen, then fuck off. I get it. I've been there. I've tried it out. I'm not sure if it works for me. In my ideal world, my delicious lover in the foreseeable future, he will be rich, and so will I, and it will be divine. Then we go to polarity, which is a hot topic, because the thing about paying 50-50 for things and really dividing up the domestic roles in the house. You do the dishes one day, I do the dishes the next day, you cook this day, I cook that day. Some people say that it destroys polarity. Destroys polarity. My lover said the other day, the house is your domain. Outside is mine. As in, I will have a shed, I'll build anything that you want me to, I'll fix anything you want me to. But I promise I'll never touch your kitchen and you never move a tool in my shed. The house is your domain, and I would hate it if you went around tinkering around in my work shed. It did get me thinking, because it's quite traditional, that way of thinking. Though there is something pretty sexy about it when you have control of your own domain and you love the shit out of each other and you want to rip each other's clothes off pretty much all the time. There's got to be something to that polarity, that level of taking ownership of different roles within the household. Of course, it's lovely to be cooked for, and cleaning. Oh my God, don't even get me started on cleaning. I feel like housekeepers literally save marriages all over the world. How many times have you had an argument with your partner about their mess, not cleaning up after themselves? And then you just pay a wonderful person to come and clean. That issue goes away. It goes away. Thank you, all the housekeepers out there, for saving marriages all over the world. Gender roles and polarity. I haven't had a relationship over 5 years, but I do know that my relationship lacked polarity, and we did everything together, including the cooking, the cleaning, the traveling, and we barely spent any moment apart from each other than when we were at work, and we were best fucking friends. We really were. I'm pretty sure we were just friends because I never wanted to rip his clothes off. If you're a woman out there and you are completely supporting your partner financially, there does have to be some reciprocity somehow. And when that energy is not being met and you're just giving and giving and giving and giving, over time that does or can wear you thin for sure. Reflecting on how I'm when I'm in the receiving state, being looked after, it's weird because you can give all of the money in the world to someone and they'll still want you to be of service to them, because money is transactional and it's also, you can't really see it. But acts of service, you feel it, you see it. Money isn't on the languages, is it? It's gifts, acts of service, touch, quality time, space, and words of affirmation. There's no money. I mean, it could be an act of service, but if it's an act of service and you're used to getting money in your bank account every week from your partner, eventually that's going to become the norm and you may become unappreciative of it. So gratitude is the best attitude. You got to connect into that for sure. One thing that I do love about my lover is that he is so fucking grateful all the time. He does his best to ensure that the energy is reciprocated in any way, shape or form, through acts of service, cute little gifts, quality time, touch. He's really ensuring that I am being held in so many ways. So I still don't know if I prefer to be taken care of, if I like taking care of, or if I just want it more balanced. I'm just still on the journey of love and relationships and exploring different dynamics and gender roles. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens next. I do have a date with a billionaire. There's still some kind of draw to that amount of wealth. It's funny, isn't it? Old habits die hard. I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, like and subscribe. And if you're ready to deepen your connection with the wild, the raw, and the untamed, explore the power of Blue Lotus with Blue Lotus Effect, awakening the mind, body, and spirit. Until next time, stay wild.